Have you always wished you could create your own vanity items in World of Warcraft for use in your roleplay? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can using an add-on called Total Roleplay 3 Extended. With this knowledge, you're going to be able to create a variety of items unique to your creativity, tradable with other players, and can enhance your roleplay scenarios in game. Hey there, it's Terry Maciek-Jakimiak from Quest and Sketch, dedicated to providing you content on art, gaming, and art and gaming. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified whenever a new video comes out. Additionally, any of the links that we talk about in the video will be in the description box below. Now, I'm a role player. I play Dungeons & Dragons, and I roleplay in World of Warcraft. One of the great things that I love about Dungeons & Dragons is that the Dungeon Master has the ability to create any item to help enhance the roleplay that we're partaking in. I was hoping to be able to do the same thing when I started roleplaying in World of Warcraft. Unfortunately, I found out that wasn't possible, until I found Total Roleplay 3 Extended. Now, with Total Roleplay 3 Extended, I've been able to create a variety of items and use them in all sorts of ways. And in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you step by step, and you're going to be able to create your very first item in that add-on. Now, before we begin, make sure that you get Total Roleplay 3 and Total Roleplay 3 Extended downloaded and installed. You can find them both on CurseForge. All right, let's go ahead and jump in game. All right, we're in game. This is Maciek. He's your fun, furry, fabulous feline Tauren druid. He is my original roleplay character in World of Warcraft, and he has been with me a long time. As I said before, make sure that you have TRP3 and TRP3 Extended turned on. You can check this, of course, by going to your in-game menu and double checking in your add-ons and making sure they are indeed turned on. You'll see here I have TRP3 and I have TRP3 Extended features. You can see there's a couple of things that go along with it. As long as you've downloaded and installed TRP3 and TRP3 Extended, you should be fine. All right. One of the things you're going to want to do is locate your toolbar. As you can see, mine is showing up right now. Now, if your toolbar is not showing up, you can very easily use a command. Let me open up this, and it's \TRP3 switch toolbar, and that'll turn it on or turn it off. Now, before I get any further questions, the interface that I'm using is LVUI. I've been using LVUI for a long time. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the comments below. All right. Additionally, around the mini-map, you will see a TRP button. If you click that, it opens up the larger menu with a variety of information, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. For today's video, we're going to be focusing on the Extended Objects database, and you'll find that right down here in the toolbar. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons over from the left, and we're going to click it, and you're going to see a large screen. Now, the first time I saw it, I stared at it blankly for about a minute before shutting it down. Freaked me out, had no idea what I was looking at, and hopefully you're not having those same sort of feelings that I had. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a box, as you can see here, titled Actions. We are actually going to just use the Create item. Now, when we click on it, you're going to see a variety of items from Quick Creation, Blank Item, Container Item, Create From, Expert Item, and Document Item. Our focus is indeed going to be on the blank item. All of those other things are important in other ways, but we are going to just do a blank item from scratch. What we're going to be creating today is a totem. Totems are such an integral part of Tauren society. I thought that'd be a great thing to create as a first item if you've never created an item before. Now then, first we have our display attributes area. You can see that right here. These are the things that you'll see on the screen regarding your item. It's similar to any item that a character might have. For example, a low-level rogue might have a scarred battle-board chest with an item level of 4, soulbound, a chest piece. We get to create all of that for the items here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to name our item. And we're going to name this Tribe Machic Totem. Simple, easy to understand. As you click into these boxes, you'll see a lot of them have this little information item. If you hover over it, it gives you info about what those boxes will do. So for example, the item name, it says it's your item name as it will appear on the tooltip or in the item links in the chat frame. All right, so we have, excuse me, we have the Tribe Machic Totem. We don't want it to be any normal common quality totem. So we're going to come over here and we're going to switch the quality. And we want it to be rare. It's not quite epic, but it's getting there. Next up, after that, we have our tooltip left custom text. Now, this is something simple. Something, as you hover over the eye, it talks about a good example of information to put there is the item type. Armor, cloth, weapon, potion. Well, we're going to call ours a totem. Okay. And then you have your tooltip right custom text. You can generally be a little more specific. Here it talks about, for example, if you put armor in the first one, on the right side, it could be something more precise like helmet or gloves. What we're going to do here is we're going to actually put it in as an offhand. So this is a totem that you might carry in your offhand. Next up, we have our tooltip description, and this is kind of the cool area. A lot of items within the game have a tooltip description, but a lot of them are fairly simple. You actually have a chance here to put a bit more information. Now, as the tooltip description here says, it shouldn't be a wall of text here. Try to be concise, but it is an area where you can have a little more fun with it. So, for example, what we're going to do for ours, and I'm just going to paste what I have. A totem made of light wood with hollow carvings running up the side. There are wooden wing protrusions on either side of the carving. The entire item glows, or the entire totem glows with orange light. Off to the right, we have quest flag. Now, these are visual indicators. They don't actually do anything per se. As it says here, like other display attributes, it's just a visual flag, and it's not required for your item to really be able to start a quest. Now, we're not going to get into quests today. One of the powerful pieces of Total Roleplay 3 Extended is the ability to create quests that other players can actually accept and work on. We're not going to do that today, but if an item might start a quest, putting the quest flag there. Below that, we have crafted. A crafted item will display in the tooltip the name of the player who crafted it. Some of my items, I like them to know that Machic created the item. Others, not so worried about, so I don't check it. For this, we're going to leave it unchecked. Over here is another kind of visual aid. It's a crafting regent flag. Again, like the quest flag, it'll just show that it could be used for crafting abilities. In a role play sense, but it's not required. Okay, it's again flavor for it. And then finally in the display attributes is what I find the most fun is picking your icon. Now the great thing about this is they've set it up so that you can actually search with a filter. So I'm going to type in totem, and we are going to pick so many choices. Let's go with this one. So now this is where it becomes really cool. When I hover over it, all of that information so far, as we can see, Tribe Machic totem offhand, a totem made of light wood with all of that information now is here. Down here are free notes. This is the place where if you want to write notes about the item, why did you create it? Where did you create it? This is the location that you're going to want to do that. For now, I'm just going to write this as a note. Generally, people won't see this unless they open up the database and look at it in here. So it's just something for you if you want to keep notes on things. Now, on the right-hand side over here, we have our gameplay attributes. Now, our gameplay attributes have a variety of things that can affect our item. First, we have a value. As the note says here, and I agree with it, if you think that this item is invaluable, please leave it at 0. An item doesn't have to have an amount, so a lot of my items have a 0 cost. Generally, if I'm creating an item that, say, is something like a pastry that I'm going to use in a role play market of some sort. That might have an item value. But generally speaking, i.e. this totem, it's not going to have an item value. Over here we have weight. Now, I do tend to give weights to my items, and I'm just looking for my notes on what I decided the weight on this would be. Ah, that's right. 226 grams. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm using grams. Well, when you hover over this, everything has to be entered in grams, but it will be converted if within your settings you have it set to, for example, pounds. So I've got 226 grams with a cost of 0. So if I go back and hover over my icon, you'll see it now weighs 7.97 ounces. All right. Now, how did I come to 226? Google. I looked up a grams to pounds converter. That did it for me. Next up, we have soulbound. Now, this would mean that the item is soulbound to whoever it's given to. This item, we're not going to make soulbound. When you make an item soulbound, once they have it, they can't drop it on the ground, and they can't, for example, sell it or give it to somebody else. So, soulbound item is a soulbound item. The one thing they can do is they can delete it if they're done with it. The next thing is unique. And unique is when it's active, you can only have a maximum number of units on your person. We are going to make this unique, and we're going to make it that you can only have 2 items ever of this totem at once. Stackable is exactly what it is. It's like any of our ore or herbs or anything that's stackable, food and water. You can make it stackable, and if you do, you would need to put your maximum units per stack. We are not going to make it stackable, so it's irrelevant to us. Our next item is usable. Usable means that you can actually use it and something happens. When we talk about that, a workflow has to be incorporated into it. We are not going to work on that today. That is as we move forward in these series of YouTube videos. A workflow allows us to do things like play sounds or create narration. It can do a whole variety of things. And so being usable is really interesting. If you do use usable, you click it and there should be usage text. So for example, if it was something to eat, you could type eat me. And then if I hover over, you can see now underneath our notes is a use eat me. Now we're actually going to delete that and unclick it as this is not usable. The next item is wearable, whether or not your character can wear it. And you can't put it on your character within the game view of the character, but there is an alternate way of doing it. I am going to make this wearable, and the way you see and put it is I'm going to move this slightly over here. Here is my character right here. If I click inventory, now we have a whole bunch of slots where we can put items, and we're going to do that at the end of this video so you can see how that works. Close that. So this is wearable. Next up is container. Containers are things like bags or satchels. We are not making this a container. It's not going to hold anything inside, so we're going to leave that unchecked. Next up, we have prevent manual adding. This means that when you trade these items to people, it ends up in their database. Preventing manual adding means that they cannot just add more of them into their bag. And as such, that allows you to have more control of items that you create. Now, I'm going to leave it unchecked because I want people to be able to create more of these if they so choose. Next up, we have pickup sound and drop sound, and these are exactly what they are. When you pick an item up or when you drop it. We're going to use, and it's probably too faint to hear in the video, but we're going to use the rock sound for both of those. And you can see there's a variety of sounds that you can choose from. We have now created our, ignore the inner objects for now, that's going deeper. We have created, we're going to save it. We have saved the tribe Machic totem. How do we then get the tribe Machic totem? Well, let's take a look. What we need to do is we need to open our Total Roleplay 3 bag. Now, we're going to put it in our bag, but at the end of the video, I'm going to actually tell you how you can stash these items around Azeroth, which is a really cool thing with this add-on. To open up your bag, you go back to your TRP3 mini toolbar, you click your bag, and here's our default bag. We're going to scroll down and find our Tribe Machic Totem. We're going to right click. We are going to add to main inventory. We're going to add 2 of them. And now we have 2 of our totems unique in our bag. Next thing we're going to do, and just so you know how I opened up my character inventory, one way is clicking the button on your mini-map and clicking the inventory button. I'm going to take one of our totems and put it on my character. So you can see it's now been dragged into a slot and it's on our character, which is fantastic. So this is a way to create items that you can use as part of your role play. They're tradable with other players. They can be created to look and feel however you want them. I mentioned just a few minutes ago that you can stash these items all around Azeroth. So you're probably wondering, how can you do this? All right, well, that comes down to using the stash tool. What you're going to want to do is look down here in your mini menu, and you'll see something called Drop System. In mine, it's my 3rd item. If you click it, you'll see you can search for my items, you can search for player stashes, and you can create a stash here. So why don't we create a stash right where I'm standing? And we'll call this Tribe Machic Totems. Now, again, you can give it a icon. So we're going to look for a chest icon. Something like that will do. And we could hide from scan, but I'm going to leave it open so that you can find it. I'm going to save it. I open up my TRP3 bag, and I'll add 1 in, but I'm going to add more than 1, I think. So if we remember, we're going to go back. I can only have 2 on me at a time, so if we add to main inventory, type 2, you'll see it only added 1 because I'm wearing 1. So I'll add another 1. And I'll add 1, and I'll add 1 more, so a total of 4 in my stash. Now that my stash has my totems, I'm going to close it. Now you're probably wondering, how do we find our stash? Well, I'm going to fly just slightly away. And I'm going to open up my map. Down at the bottom left, you'll see a scan for roleplay. If you click it, you can scan for my stashes. Now, you looking for my stashes would actually scan for player stashes. We can see there are no player stashes in this area at this time. So I'm going to go scan for my stashes again. We'll see when I hover over it, it's there. 4 of 8 slots are filled. Right click for actions. We can edit stash, take ownership, remove stash, or cancel. I'm actually going to go towards the stash. And once I get close, say right here, I can actually click oops, I've got to go lower. There we go. And I can scan for player stashes. No stashes found in this area. So sometimes it takes a little, there we go. It pops up within our menu. I am now within 15 yards. You'll notice if I go away, it disappears. So you've got to be within 15 yards And there it is. So if we now close our map and click this button, our totems are here, and we can pull them back into our bag as we so choose. And you can stash these anywhere around Azeroth. Now, a note with these stashes, they can only be seen when you're online. So as soon as I go offline, they're not going to be seen anymore. Now, truth be told, I'm online fairly often, so if you're looking for the Tribe Magic totems, which I misspelled here, as you can see, it's called Totmes apparently, then you'll be able to find it. But if I'm offline, I apologize, it will not be found. Now, feel free to search for other people's stashes around Azeroth. I bet if we were to go into Orgrimmar right now, we would find more stashes. In fact, I've looked through several of those stashes. Again, as long as they're online, you can find them. I'll leave a couple of other stashes around later tomorrow with some other items around Azeroth. You'll need to be on a Horde tune in Mulgore, that's where I'll leave them, on the Wormrest Accord server. Now that you know how to make items in Total Roleplay 3 Extended, how are you going to use it to enhance your character's personality? Leave a comment below letting me know what items you created and how you're using them. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Alright, it's time for me to get back in Azeroth and make the most wonderful plank of wood ever seen. Take care.